It's me, Cleopatra. Go ahead, get it out of your system. My story starts at Ptolemaic court and ends at Roman province. That's not a journey, that's a warning label.
Name's Julius Caesar. I brought receipts and a chair for Cleopatra's ego. Some people learn, Cleopatra doubles down. Mark Antony here. I'll keep this factual, but I can't promise I'll keep it gentle. She played politics with leverage and timing, not just a little like me. It was pure strategy under pressure. I'm Octavian. Let's talk about how Cleopatra turned Octavian to a personality. Some people learn, Cleopatra doubles down.
Arsenal Fourth here. I'll keep this factual, but I can't promise I'll keep it gentle. Some people learn. Look at these receipts. Her alliances led straight to the siege of Alexandria. The story isn't just Cleopatra, it's how Octavian turns into Roman province when nobody taps the brakes. She didn't seduce Rome with looks, she played politics with leverage and timing.
Subscribe if you want more legends audited. Pinned comment has the rundown. Next roast, Julius Caesar. You'll know the name, now learn the mess.
File this under Ptolemaic court. Great ideas of Eastern alliances, then Rome's favorite. I see with lux, reality, receipts are glowing.
At Ptolemaic court, Cleopatra is improvising like it's a virtue in the receipts notice. She brokers an Eastern alliance with Rome, but Octavian's pivot changes the Roman program. Cleopatra is sprinting while everyone else is doing math. She played politics with leverage and timing, not just looks. And that's the receipt. That's where Cleopatra decided more was a strategy. She thought allying with me would checkmate Rome, but it was a deadline, not a lifeline. Myth, seduction won alliances. Reality, she played politics with leverage and timing.
And don't forget, at Alexandria's siege, the moment Cleopatra's legend runs into paperwork. They say I seduced Rome with my looks. The reality, I played politics with leverage and timing. My alliances with Eastern powers and Caesar were strategic moves, queen with a deadline. Case closed. This is where Octavian shows up like a plot twist with paperwork. The myth, I seduced Rome with my looks. The reality, I played politics with leverage and timing.
Then comes Alexandria, and Cleopatra treats it like a flex instead of a constraint. The court was a snake pit of rivals and Roman pressure. But she flexed, and that was her first mistake. Eastern alliance, that's where Cleopatra decided more was a strategy. She played politics with leverage and timing. Mythos chronos? Reality, she played politics with leverage and timing. The propaganda war shows up, and suddenly Cleopatra is sprinting while everyone else is doing math. She played politics with leverage and in time. Rome was the deadline.
Antony's foal shows up, and suddenly Cleopatra's sprinting while everyone else is doing math. Her deadline was always ticking, and now the math is clear. Roman province fallout. That's the real story, not the myth. Verdict, Cleopatra turned Octavian into a headline and Roman province into a receipt. She seduced Rome with looks. Reality, she played politics with leverage and timing. First up to roast Cleopatra, Julius Caesar. Please keep it educational while you ruin my brand. Forget the seductress myth. The real science story, political genius with a deadline. Let's get into it.
And don't forget, Caesar arrives the moment Cleopatra's legend runs in paperwork of what? The myth, that's totality each, that lied she would like alliance's legend timing. At Rome, gossip claims Cleopatra is improvising like it's a virtue. This wasn't seduction with looks, it was leverage under the weight of strategy. Then comes Actium, and Cleopatra treats it like a flex instead of She stakes her entire position on a single naval gamble. When it fails, Egypt becomes a Roman province. The deadline arrives.
At the siege of Alexandria, Cleopatra is improvising like it's a virtue, and the seats know that. She played the seduction and crumble, just a lot. A Roman province.
While politics, that's where Cleopatra decided more was a strategy. Cleopatra treats this like a game. History treats it like a filing system. Donations of Alexandria shows up, and suddenly Cleopatra is sprinting while everyone else is doing math. Cleopatra treats this like a game. History treats it like a filing system. At naval gamble, Cleopatra is improvising like it's a virtue in the receipts notice. If arrogance were fuel, Cleopatra could power an empire indefinitely.
Roman province shows up, and suddenly Cleopatra is sprinting while everyone else is doing math. If arrogance were fuel, Cleopatra could power an empire indefinitely.
Put Ptolemaic court next to Nile politics and you get the classic Cleopatra move. Momentum over maintenance. Put Mark Antony next to donations of Alexandria and you get the classic Cleopatra move, momentum over maintenance. Put Octavian next to naval gamble and you get the classic Cleopatra move. Momentum over maintenance.
Put Alexandria siege next to Roman province and you get the classic Cleopatra move. Momentum over maintenance.
That's enough for now. Mark Antony, please continue the roast while Cleopatra pretends this is fine. I've done my damage. Cleopatra can breathe again until Octavian speaks. Anyway, that's my part of the mess. Cleopatra is still nodding like this was inevitable. Next, Arsinoe gets a turn.
I've done my damage. Cleopatra can breathe again until Cleopatra speaks.